First and foremost, shouts out to a real motherfucking boss, Eric the YouTuber TV, who donated $75 to support the cause. Go subscribe to his channel. And if you would like to continue to support the occult secrets being exposed, donate and show some love. Oh, and one more thing, don't be a goddamn freeloader.
The smiles, you can see them through the masks. Utter and complete domination. In a year we will never forget. The Seattle Storm are the team we will always remember. They are your 2020 WNBA champions.
The number 2 seeded Storm completed a sweep of the number 1 seeded Las Vegas Aces on Tuesday after beating them 92-59. The 33-point margin of victory was the largest in WNBA Finals history. Forward Breanna Stewart led the Storm with 26 points and 4 rebounds and was named the WNBA Finals MVP. This was the 26-year-old's second WNBA title and her second WNBA Finals MVP award. After the win, Stewart shared in an interview that, quote, "The city of Seattle has always had our back. We have the utmost support from everybody, and now we're bringing another title back." This was the Storm's 4th WNBA championship appearance.
Sue Bird of the newly crowned WNBA champions, Seattle Storm, joins the program. Sue, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
So you just won your 4th WNBA title with the Storm.
Look, I'm all about unselfishness, but he needed to be a dominant scorer. When I went on the 6 o'clock Sports Center last night, they said, what can the Heat do to make it a series? I said, Jimmy Butler has to get 35 points. He did better than that. He got 40.
LeBron now, 4th NBA title if he wins with 3 different teams. 4th NBA title with 3 different teams. And I know people are going to talk about legacy and all that, but where would that legacy stand for you?
Well, I mean, he's on 4 different teams because he want to be on 4 different teams, so I don't know if that impresses me. But in terms of his legacy, he's one of the tops. They're undefeated in those Kobe jerseys, right?
4-0?
Wearing them tomorrow night.
The Lakers had an off day Wednesday following their win over Miami to go up 3-1 in the finals, and it came at an opportune time. It was day number 91 in the bubble for the team, and everyone could use a little break. LeBron James tweeted that he was still up at 6:30 a.m. after Tuesday night's game, but could be seen riding his bicycle around campus by late afternoon. LeBron is 3-0 all-time in the finals with a chance to clinch. No player in league history has ever gone 4-0 in that scenario. Anthony Davis, who at one point in the 4th quarter came in, checked in, looked LeBron in the face, in the eye, and said, "Hey, let's win this thing." Him giving some motivation back to their leader.
That's key. Those little things like we talk about, that's leadership right there. LeBron, by the way, with 20 second half points last night, his 20th career half with at least 20 points in the NBA Finals.
I'm so excited about my new album. It's called 4, and it's my 4th album. To be honest with you, my fans actually suggested the number 4 as the title, and I saw for the past year they kind of claimed it. They just said, we're waiting for 4, we're waiting for 4. And I said, all right, fans, I think you're right.
Jay-Z came out with his 13th studio album called 444
as America's 4th president. James Madison is often called the father of the Constitution.
Formulated and organized into a productive social force that takes or accepts the premise that man is not a creature to be redeemed, but one who must recognize within himself his own potential, his own liabilities, and deal with them accordingly. We feel, as Nietzsche felt when he obviously wrote Also sprach Zarathustra. Opinion is that man can no longer fall back on established religion as a sort of identity, a collective identity, And occultism is a sort of do-it-yourself God kit, in whatever form it takes, oriented towards personal power. As a result of this, those who could be accepted collectively simply by being Christians at one time, for example, now find that with automation, with advances in technology, that their roles as human beings are lessened a great deal, are much less viable than ever before. So as a result of this, they have set themselves up in sort of a minor godhead role, or god role, or goddess role, in a specious, or rather illogical at times, form of importance, or sense of importance. So I honestly feel occultism gives many people a chance to be big fish in little ponds.
The 10 Commandments versus the 9 Satanic Sins. So what you're looking at here is the 10 Commandments from the Christian religion. Number 1 says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." If we jump into the 9 Satanic Sins, number 1 of the Satanic Sins is in fact stupidity. Shocking, is it not? And what I really love about this is that it actually gives an in-depth explanation to exactly what it means. The top of the list for Satanic Sins, the cardinal sin of Satanism. It's too bad that stupidity isn't painful. Ignorance is one thing, but our society thrives increasingly on stupidity. It depends on people going along with whatever they are told. The media promotes a cultivated stupidity as posture that is not only acceptable but laudable. Satanists must learn to see through these tricks and cannot afford to be stupid. Thou shalt not have any gods before me versus stupidity. Which one do you think is better? Number 2, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images. Number 2 of the Satanic Sins is in fact pretentiousness. Empty posturing can almost be irritating and isn't applied to the cardinal rules of lesser magic, on equal footing with stupidity for what keeps the money in circulation these days. Everyone's made to feel like a big shot, whether they can come up with goods or not. Number 3, thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Number 3 of the 9 Satanic Sins is in fact solipsism. This can be very dangerous for Satanists, projecting your reactions, responses, and sensibilities onto someone who is probably far less attuned than you are. It is the mistake of expecting people to give you the same consideration, courtesy, and respect that you naturally give them. They won't. Instead, Satanists must strive to apply the dictum of do unto others as they do unto you. It's work for the most of us and requires constant vigilance lest you slip into a comfortable illusion of everyone being like you. As it has been said, certain utopias would be ideal in a nation of philosophers, but unfortunately we are far from that point. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Number 4 of the 9 Satanic Sins is in fact self-deceit. It's in the 9 Satanic Statements, but deserves to be repeated here. Another cardinal sin, we must not pay homage to any of the sacred cows presented to us, including the roles that we are expected to play ourselves. The only time self-defeat should be entered in is when it's fun with awareness, but then it's not self-deceit.
It's basic common sense, which common sense isn't common anymore. But it's quite obvious that the entire entertainment industry, sports, politics, and the news media itself is all under the satanic doctrine. All of the entertainers, news anchors, etc. are all puppets for the occult and worship Satan. The Bible and the 10 Commandments were written by God for us to obey God and to follow His orders to help us live a better life. The Satanic Bible and many other occultist Bibles and other satanic books are the total opposite of the Bible and 10 Commandments. In Chapter 1 of the Satanic Bible, by Anton LaVey, who is nothing more than a poster boy for the occult. In Chapter 1 it says God is wanted dead or alive. The Satanic Bible has brainwashed their fellow Satanists to believe that Satan or God isn't real and that they themselves are God. Hence the name Lord Jamar and Charlemagne the God. But what these geniuses don't know, which I am being sarcastic by even calling them geniuses, is that if God or Satan doesn't exist, why would they need to make a satanic Bible trying to convince you that God doesn't exist and constantly promote Satanism? Also, why would the occult find the need to always have to mock God in TV shows, in music and movies, or try to compete? But in the Satanic Bible, it has 19 keys. Hence DJ Khaled, Jay-Z and Future's song I Got the Keys, which was released on the 4th of July in 2016.
Keys, keys, I got the keys, keys, keys.
The Satanic Bible challenges and goes against God's orders and what God represents. Example, God gave us the 10 Commandments. Biggie Smalls, who is idolized as a god by his fans, totally disobeys the second commandment, which says you shall make no idols. Disavows that and makes the 10 crack commandment. This is why in sports, the occult use these athletes' jersey numbers, time clocks, and stats to convey subliminal messages to honor Satan and to attack God. Notice that the 10 Commandments were God orders. The Satanic Bible combats that with 9 statements and Satan's keys, which goes against God. So in other words, they use these numbers to attack God orders and religion, and the fans, who are so in love with the players and feel like they are a part of the team, cheer for Satan.
Described yourself publicly as devastated, and you've said that you will never forget that phone call where you just felt like, hey, weren't we building something together?
You know, when LeBron made that call, I saw a dynasty fly out the window. I didn't blame him, but I knew that that was a 10-year team.
Yeah.
I do want to get back to that quote of, I saw a dynasty fly out the window. What do you think would have happened?
You know what, I know Riles is the optimist. You know, when you have those type of players, you know, in your organization. I didn't see a 10-year dynasty. So
You're
just
wrong.
just with those two,
He's wrong.
It was going to take time. Not
Who's wrong?
Dynasty.
Not 10 years.
You're with Pat.
No.
Dynasty.
No.
What happened when LeBron went back to Cleveland? How many championships they went to? How many finals?
They went to 4 finals.
They went to 4 straight finals.
To 4 finals.
They went to 4 straight finals.
4 finals. They went to 4 straight finals.
They
Pat would've made the
still
moves.
would have been a team that can get to the finals because I think Pat would have made moves. And even without Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade and LeBron James in the Eastern Conference would have made it to the finals. There's no doubt in my mind.
Maybe.
And they already had went to 4 straight finals. 4 straight finals.
4 straight finals.
With the Miami Heat blowing out the 3rd-seeded Denver Nuggets 125-105, the Heat's NBA Finals odds are going up tremendously. Today I'd like to bring up 3 reasons why I think the Miami Heat are sure to win the Eastern Conference and might even win the NBA Finals. The Miami Heat are in the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference. 4th seed in the Eastern Conference.
4th seed in the Eastern Conference. One of the main reasons fans believe sports are real is because, 1, they just think they know every fucking thing, not willing to be open-minded. They've read so many goddamn books that the occult has programmed them to believe gives them all this knowledge. They believe that they have all the answers in life. So congratulations, you're still an idiot. But the real reason fans believe sports aren't scripted and predetermined is because they've been sold a fantasy their entire lives. The WWE doesn't get covered constantly 24/7 like in the NFL or NBA by the news media and former athletes.
Who do you think is going to win the NBA Finals? The Miami Heat or the Los Angeles Lakers?
Unlike football, a lot of people ask, Keith, what's your team? Who do you root for? When it comes to football, I just love the sport. I love defenses since that's what I played. However, when it comes to basketball, I've got a team. And I've had the same team since I was a sophomore in high school, and that will always and forever be the Los Angeles Lakers. So that, sir, should answer that question with no question.
Oh, definitely the Miami Heat.
Why is that?
Honestly, I have not watched any sports other than wrestling.
The older fans have a suspicion that the NBA and NFL is fake, but the programming since birth won't allow them to fully detach from sports. They still live vicariously through these athletes. They still believe that sports weren't scripted when Michael Jordan was playing, and the Magic, Bird era. Even back when Wilt was playing, the top superstar athletes are used as the queen and king on the chessboard that sells the dream that make kids want to be the next Kobe, MJ, or Lebron, but they're manufactured. They draw little kids in the hoods and by selling them dreams. The older fans don't realize that the rabbit hole goes much deeper than just storylines. What they don't know is that the referees control and dictate the game through momentum, magnets in the rim, and foul calls.
This is when I saw, first of all, that was my welcome to NBA moment. Just Dame fucking having, I don't know what he had. But then seeing Kobe guard him and just beat him up, basically. Like, they weren't letting Kobe foul out of that game, one. And he just beat him up. He probably had 50 on me, and in the game, probably 50. You know, like, just Kobe he shut it down. But I watched the refs kind of let Kobe beat the shit out of him to do it. And I was just like, man, that's just reputation, one. And then two, like, damn, refs really control the game. Refs really control the game. I hope I'm fine from saying that, but they control the game, you know?
So Sam Smith seriously swept the Grammys, winning a total of 4 out of the 6 awards he was nominated for tonight.
Now, unfortunately, I have some bad news. Lil Wayne has announced that he's pushing back the release date of the Carter 4. I know, you've heard this before, and it seems like every time we get close to the release date, Lil Wayne pushes it back again. And this time, it's gone from June 21st all the way to August 29th.
It was a very simple choice. Either the Chicago Bulls would win the NBA championship Sunday night, or they would set the stage for a game that could conclude both the greatest championship comeback and the greatest championship fold in the history of American sports. Get ready to rock. Michael Jordan certainly does not know he's on television. Skate towards another championship. Kukoc gives the ball to Jordan, and Michael holds on to that as if it were his child. Chicago wins 87-75. Jordan wins the MVP award, puts on a performance in the locker room afterwards, openly weeping in front of the TV cameras. Jordan, the playoff MVP for the 4th time, does the regular season and playoff MVP double dip for the 3rd time. 18 boards for Rodman, 11 offensive. The Bulls have won 4 titles in the last 6 seasons. Chicago's 4 other major pro teams have won 4 titles in their last 201 seasons. Phil Jackson becomes only the 4th coach to win at least 4 crowns. Auerbach, John Kundla, Riley, and Jackson. And now some of the champions headed by the MVP.
You know, who would have ever written this season? You know, no one predicted it as much as you guys tried to be predictors. You know, we couldn't have predicted it early, but things work in mysterious ways.
Of the championship trophy in just a moment. An emotional moment for Michael Jordan. The tears are flowing. We'll be talking with Michael in just a few moments, and I would think there is a tie-in with his late dad on this Father's Day, 1996.
Bob, Michael, I know that the first one was sweet, but how much sweeter was this one?
Well, you know, I can't even put it in words. My Father's Day, what it means to me. I know he's watching. To my wife, and to my kids, to my mother, my brothers and sisters. This is for Daddy. I'm very happy for you.
Now, you had you've made that this may be the accomplishment? Why?
Well, this goes right up there to having my kids. My kids are the most important things to me, my wife, my family. But next to them, this is going to mean a lot to me because of what it symbolizes, which is my father on Father's Day. It means it means a big deal to me.
Now, you remember just a couple years ago that early flight to Indiana where it all started. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like this is a culmination.
It's been a long road. You know, it started from scratch. You know, I had a lot of support from my teammates, from my family. I'm just happy for the city of Chicago. I'm sorry I was out for 18 months, but I'm happy I'm back to bring a championship back to Chicago.
Looking at the autopsy report, the first thing I noticed is that Biggie was shot 4 times, shot 4 times, shot 4 times.
A person, as you are already aware, who was the passenger in this vehicle is a known rap performer by the name of Tupac Shakur. Once they got here, they found that the passenger in the black BMW had been shot 4 times, shot 4 times, shot 4 times.
Whoa! Neil, you scared the bejesus out of me. Sorry. Okay. The Matrix? Yeah.
Do you always look at it and code it?
Well, you have to. The image translators work for the construct program. But there's way too much information to decode the Matrix. You get used to it. I don't even see the code. All I see is blonde, brunette, redhead.